Hello there. We're back with another progress report for you on the Blue Heinz project. We've been making pretty steady progress since the last report. Yeah, that's been about a couple of weeks, I guess, a little tiny bit over a couple of weeks. Got this thing set up for doing some welding on the exhaust. My son brought all the exhaust stuff home other than those tailpipes that are over there to do some welding at his house when he has time, and he noticed that the first piece coming off of the headers here has the cross tube in it, and it's all tacked together. But he noticed when he was, started to weld it, that it was the tacks were holding the pieces together, but they would move around quite a bit. And when things distort when you weld them. So he was concerned about welding it that the flanges wouldn't line up properly if it wasn't more secure before he started. So we set this up. We've got this engine block here and the heads and stuff. We put the headers on so we could bolt that assembly to the headers and weld it much more securely before finishing it. So we did that. He brought it back here. He welded about halfway around the top part, and we took it apart. He brought it back home so I can get rid of this now. So this is another mock-up thing for assembly. In the meantime, all the powder coating parts went to the powder coater. Remember, they were all laying over here. There was, I believe it was 73 pieces altogether, and that was a little over a week ago. A week ago this past Friday. I haven't heard anything from them. He said he thought it would be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, which is fine because I have a lot of work going on here. We started on the firewall. You notice the what do you call it? The holes where the wiper motor used to be are gone. The mount holes are also gone. This one here used to be a plug for wiring to come through, where the wiring going to the starter motor went across some clips that were right here and then down this side to the starter motor. That's all going to be on the inside now. In fact, I used the mounting locations for the old wiper motor and welded some studs facing in so I can hang some straps on the inside off of those studs. You see a lot of other welds here, like these here, the one up high here, the two down low here, the ones around the duct opening over here. Those are all mounting holes for that sound and heat insulation pad that goes on the inside of the firewall. The way that's set up, there's the pad. I have the new pad. And that hangs on the inside of the firewall. And what they give you to mount it is these things. So from the inside, obviously, you poke those through the hole. And what you see from the firewall side is that rather ugly thing there. So that's what we're doing. I've taken carriage bolts. I was originally going to put the carriage bolts in and use them as so they would look like a rivet on this side. And we decided not to do that. Decided it would look so much better with a smooth firewall. That what I'm doing with these is, you see, I've ground the head down so it fits in the hole. So we do that and weld that, and that's what you see in all those. That's what you see right there. That bolt is welded in. So then we're going to grind that so till the weld is flush with the metal, and you won't know that there's anything there, like you see over in those places. There was one of those down below that recess there. Where is it? There was one of these bolt holes down below that recess. There was a mounting hole for the defrost duct work. So that's what that looks like when we weld it, and looks like that when it's all ground, all smooth. So that's what we're doing here. And on the inside, I'm going to use a fender washer, a 1/4-inch fender washer, and acorn nuts. I've got a whole bunch of those. So I'm going to paint them all black. I won't leave them, they'll stand out. They'll be painted black, so they'll kind of go away. So that's kind of what we've been up to. Besides that, a lot of the hardware that was on the chassis was only tacked also. You see that bracket right there for the clutch, the what do you call the swing arm there for the clutch, the cross arm for the clutch. There was a big gaping hole there. You saw that in another video where we patched the frame because somebody looked like they ripped it out instead of doing a nice job. I don't know why it got removed. Maybe it did get ripped out. There's a mount. There's mounts on the back of the frame where we built a little cross member to hang the tailpipes. And so we made some threaded plates and welded those to the frame. Well, they were only tacked as well. Those got done. The same kind of thing for the fuel filter. We made, again, a threaded plate, welded it to the frame. That was only tacked on. That got welded. So all the chassis stuff, the motor mounts you see here are welded. Those are finished. So the welding on the frame itself, I think, is done. So all we're concentrating on now is the firewall, trying to smooth that out a bit more. I actually ordered a $350 worth of painting supplies from Speedway last week. Little tiny bit of body putty so we can bury the grinding scratches and any little dimples and stuff that don't want to come out on the firewall. I'm not going to try and make it smooth, but you know, better than it is just metal finished. You know, primer. Their products are nice products. They work well, but they're kind of difficult. Their Extreme Chassis Black won't work over their again, you notice I'm saying their Extreme Chassis Black won't work over their self-etch primer. So if you want to, you know, you got bare metal and you want to use the self-etch primer, they can't advise you. They tell you don't use the Extreme Chassis Black, use the epoxy finish over the top of the Extreme Chassis Black, over the top of the acid etch primer. So anyway, what I ended up here was some body putty. So what do you call it? Epoxy body putty that works right over the metal. And then their chassis, what did she say to use over that? The epoxy primer and then the Extreme Chassis Black. I like that. That finish works real nice. It comes out of the can with a fine spray. I didn't want to set up for a spray gun. I know you can get them reasonably priced, but then, you know, you deal with the cleaning and the air and all that other stuff. And I have air here or whatever. I just didn't want to deal with all the stuff that goes along with using a spray gun. But anyway, that's where we're at. Again, here's another thing that got welded. The support for the mount for the fuse panel. So anyway, we're making progress. And it's in places now that are actually going to show. So thanks for watching. As always, please comment. Tell me what you're thinking. I'm always interested in comments. Do the thumbs up if you think it's worthy of it. And again, thanks for watching. Bye. Well, there's about another 3 days worth of work that didn't get spent. Those 3 days didn't get spent on the blue Heinz, but it's that time of year. So turning all this dirt, which you can see here is a fair amount. And even though I have a rototiller over there under the olive tree, I prefer to turn it by hand. I don't like grinding it up that fine. Not to mention, I think if there's worms and everything else in the ground, use a rototiller. There's no more worms in the ground. So anyway, here we go. I got 5 tomato plants. I just planted them this morning, so I'm trying to protect them a little from the sun the first day or two. A whole batch of little carrots for one of my granddaughters asked for carrots. Got some garlic here and peas over there. Peas are good. I munch on those while I'm up here working. Those are excellent. So anyway, here we go. Probably going to put peppers in this area. The problem we have here with this garden is you see what's around it. All these trees. 90% of them, more than 95% of them, aren't mine. So I have no control over them. So it definitely limits the amount of sun we get. So that's why the pepper plants are planted at that odd, instead of being parallel to the edges, they're planted, that's the direction the sun travels. You know, rises in the east, sets in the west. It goes that direction right there. So it's not going to shade anything that much more. They'll get sun, the most amount of sun, since they're in the pattern, and all that stuff. So anyway, see ya.